If you're hearing this, then in some strange way, you're part of the proof that I still exist. I don't know if that sounds dramatic, but for months now, I've been wandering through a world that feels like a faded photograph. Colors drained, sounds muted, people moving like shadows behind glass walls. Even my own voice feels distant, as if it's coming from somewhere far away, like I'm listening to a recording of myself playing a part I never chose. It's hard to explain what it's like, because it's not just feeling detached. It's the sense that the thing inside me, the core of who I am, has slowly started to unravel, leaving behind a hollow shell. There was no big event, no sudden trauma, just a slow, creeping fog that settled over everything. Maybe it began on a morning like any other, or maybe it was the night I woke up and couldn't remember how I got there. The details escape me now. I wish I could remember that moment, pinpoint when reality started to slip away, because that moment is a key, a map back to myself. But instead, all I have are fragments, fleeting sensations, half memories, and this ever-present feeling that I'm fading. Some days, I feel like a ghost trapped inside my own body. I watch myself move through routines, getting out of bed, brushing my teeth, scrolling through my phone, but it's like I'm an outsider observing someone else's life. My hands reach out to touch things, but the connection feels broken, as if my skin isn't really sensing the world anymore. I remember touching the rough fabric of my jacket one afternoon, trying to remind myself I was real. The texture was there, sure, but the sensation didn't sink in. It was like touching a photograph flat, lifeless. And that's terrifying, because the physical world is supposed to ground us. It's supposed to remind us that we're here. But what if the ground itself has shifted beneath you? What if the air you breathe no longer holds the weight it once did? People tell me to stay present, to focus on my breathing, to name objects around me out loud. Ground yourself, they say. I've tried. I've repeated the names of every item in my room like a mantra desk, lamp, window, cup, but the words feel empty, like I'm mouthing lines in a play where I forgot my role. The world feels like a half-remembered dream, where nothing quite makes sense. Sounds are muffled, colors are faded, and faces blur into one another. I can look into someone's eyes and still feel nothing. No spark of recognition or connection. It's like I'm watching life happen from behind a thick pane of glass, perfectly visible but unreachable. One night, in the shower, I tried to find myself again. I turned the water as hot as I could stand and let it wash over me. The steam filled the room, thick and heavy, and for a fleeting moment, I felt something real. My heartbeat, my breath, the sting of the hot water on my skin. It was a small victory, a brief flicker of presence. But just as quickly, it vanished, leaving me once again in that muted half-existence. Those moments are rare, and they come without warning. They remind me there's still something inside, something waiting to break through. I've noticed my friends growing distant. Maybe they don't know what to say, or maybe they think I'm just tired, stressed, or depressed. They tell me I'm quieter, more withdrawn. I want to explain, to tell them about the fog that clouds my mind, about how I feel like a stranger in my own life. But the words never come out right. How do you tell someone that you don't know who you are anymore? How do you say that the world looks like a faded painting and you're stuck watching it from the outside? Instead, I nod, smile, and say everything's fine. I act like I'm present, even when I'm not. It's exhausting. Sometimes I look at old photographs, snapshots of a life that feels like it belonged to someone else. Me at the beach, laughing with friends, blowing out birthday candles. The images look familiar, but the feelings don't process. I can't remember what it felt like to be that person. It's like looking at a movie still from a film I never starred in. The memories lack depth, warmth, and color. They're just pictures, frozen and silent. I wonder if this is my brain's way of protecting me, if there's something buried deep inside that I'm not ready to face. Maybe the fog is a shield, wrapping me in glass until I can handle the pain beneath. But some nights, I fear it's not protection at all. What if this is permanent? What if I'm trapped in this liminal space forever, watching life happen through a veil that never lifts? That thought terrifies me more than the feeling itself. I've read stories about people who live like this for years, even decades. They say some eventually stop fighting the fog, learn to accept the blur, but I can't imagine surrendering to this half-life. Accepting it feels like giving up on myself, and yet I don't know what else to do. There are moments so rare, they almost feel like hallucinations, when something cuts through the haze. A familiar scent, like rain on asphalt or the sharp tang of gasoline. A song from long ago, drifting through the air. The way sunlight spills across a cracked sidewalk, illuminating the dust motes in the air. In those moments, the world snaps into focus. Colors come alive. Sounds sharpen. Faces gain clarity. I'm pulled back inside myself, and the world feels unbearably vivid and beautiful. But those moments don't last. They vanish before I can grasp them, slipping away like sand through my fingers. And I'm left again in the fog, clutching at memories that feel more like dreams. I spend a lot of time with my hands. I watch the veins pulse, the tendons move beneath my skin. I touch my face, tracing the line of my jaw, the curve of my lips. These hands cook my food, send messages, tie my shoes, but sometimes they feel foreign, as if they belong to someone else. I wonder if the person who once lived in this body is still there, or if they've drifted away. Sometimes, when I'm alone, I talk to myself out loud. You're here, I say. You're real. But it sounds hollow, like a whisper in an empty room. Like I'm trying to convince someone else, someone I don't even know anymore. I started recording these thoughts, hoping that hearing my own voice might anchor me somehow. But when I play the recordings back, it's like listening to a stranger confess his fears. There's no comfort in the sound, only a deeper sense of distance. I don't know how this ends. I don't have answers or a way out, but I'm still here, breathing, speaking, moving forward, even if it doesn't feel like me. Maybe, if you've listened this far, it means that somewhere inside, I still exist not just as a fading shadow, but as a real person struggling to find his way back to himself. And maybe that's enough. For tonight, at least.